This iPhone 17 Pro has a shattered screen, and we're not just slapping on any replacement. We're using an actual Apple original screen from the self-service program, which means no annoying, non-genuine part warnings. Alright, first things first, we need to remove the two pentalobe screws at the bottom of the phone. Without removing these, the screen isn't going anywhere. It's a security feature, but honestly it just adds another step. We're going to heat up the edges of the screen to soften the adhesive holding it in place. Apple uses some seriously strong adhesive on these devices, and it's designed to keep water and dust out, which is great for durability, but not so great when you're trying to get inside. Normally, I'd use a plastic spudger to pry the screen up, but look at this thing. The glass is literally everywhere. I have no choice but to use a metal spudger here, which I really don't like doing. Metal on metal can scratch the aluminum frame, and it's not ideal if you're trying to keep the phone looking good. This is one of those moments where you have to be super careful. If you push the pick in too far, you can damage the internal components sitting right underneath. Careful. If you push the pick in too far, you could damage the display cables, or the key is to work your way around slowly, reheating the sections as you go. The adhesive is stubborn, and rushing this step is how people end up with expensive mistakes. Now we've got the screen loose, but we can't just yank it off. There are still cables connecting it to the motherboard. First thing we need to do is remove these metal shields covering these connections. These shields serve an important purpose. They protect the connectors from accidental disconnection if the phone takes a hit or gets dropped. Before we touch any of the screen cables, we absolutely have to disconnect the battery. This is repair 101. If you unplug components while the battery is still connected, you risk sending power where it shouldn't go and frying something important. Now it's safe to disconnect the screen cables and the front sensor assembly. See this front sensor assembly? If we're using a third-party screen, we'd have to carefully remove this entire module from the old screen and transfer it to the new one. That process involves heat, precision, and a lot of patience. One mistake and the Face ID stops working permanently. But because we're using Apple's own replacement parts, all of this is already pre-installed on the new screen. It's plug and play. Time to connect the new screen. I'm lining up the connectors carefully. The battery connector has to be reconnected last. The metal shields go back on next. A lot of people doing DIY repairs skip reinstalling these because they seem unnecessary, but trust me, they're there for a reason. They prevent those connectors from popping loose if your phone gets dropped or jostled around in your pocket. Now I'm gently pressing the screen back into the frame, making sure the edges are seating properly all the way around. You want to hear or feel slight clicks as the adhesive grabs. I'm checking the alignment, making sure there aren't any gaps between the screen and the frame. Okay, there's a small gap on one side and the screen isn't sitting flush. There's a tiny shard of glass from the old screen stuck in the frame channel. That little piece was preventing the new screen from seating properly. Once I clean that out, the screen fits perfectly. Now, the bottom screws go back in and mechanically we're done. But there's one more crucial step, the calibration process. So here's how we do it. With the phone completely powered off, I'm pressing and holding both volume buttons. While I'm holding those, I plug in a charging cable and keep holding the buttons until the Apple logo appears. The phone boots into a special setup wizard. This isn't just a normal startup, it's Apple's parts calibration system. You'll need to be connected to Wi-Fi for this to work because the phone is communicating with Apple servers. Just follow the on-screen instructions. The process takes a few minutes while the phone communicates with the Apple servers and pairs the new screen with your device's motherboard. After the calibration completes, the phone restarts itself. Once it boots back up, I'm heading straight to Settings, then General, then About, and scrolling down to Display section where it says Genuine Apple Parts. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe.